Good afternoon. It's September 29, 2024. We're critiquing the news. The article on your screen is from the Sunday Mail. It's titled, Most In-State Dig the Coal Industry. This is an article about the support that the coal industry has from the ordinary mum and dad Queenslander in the street. The survey talked to 5,200 voters. They found that in places like Rockhampton and Mackay and Gladstone, where coal is fairly central to their economy, the support was up around 90%. But even in places where you wouldn't expect high support, because coal's a remote thing that happens out in the rural country, Springwood, Capalaba, Ipswich, up around 71 to 83%. So, yeah, Queenslanders get it. They understand the importance of coal to the economy. They understand the importance of coal as baseload power. Most people have a pretty good idea that you need metallurgical coal to strip excess oxygen ions out of iron ore to make steel. And probably by now, I think a fairly large number of people would have a pretty good idea that burning coal doesn't cause global warming because of course, China and India have ramped their burning of coal up exponentially, while the Western nations have cut theirs a little, and there's been no runaway catastrophic man-made global warming. In fact, none of the global warming predictions have come true in all the years since 1982. Now, 42 years of failed predictions of global warming. Just amazing that our governments, our Labor and Liberal uni party, keep blathering on with that absolute busted myth. But anyway, to get to the guts of the story, so scroll right down here. Coal Australia member and Whitehaven Coal CEO Paul Flynn said the survey findings made it clear that anyone who thinks having the highest coal royalties in the world is good for Queensland is kidding themselves, and we'll get onto royalties in a minute. He says every year the coal industry invests billions of dollars in Queensland to develop projects, pay salaries and wages and support local businesses and community causes, and it is in fact a major industry. And people forget that there's really only three ways to produce wealth from nothing. You can dig something up and sell it, as the coal industry does. You can catch, gather, harvest something, as the farming, forestry, fisheries industries do, or you can take something from one of those first two sources and you can combine them into another product and manufacture something, sell that. That's the third way. Those are our primary industries, and governments are doing what? Sending manufacturing to China, shutting down farming, forestry, fisheries, logging, and shutting down mining wherever they can. That's not going to end well. So Mr. Flynn continues, if the state government wants mining companies to continue to carry the risk of making large multi-decade capital investments, it must offer the appropriate incentives to invest via a sustainable royalty regime under which everyone can prosper. And of course, he's absolutely right. The idea that you can keep squeezing eggs, golden eggs out of the goose, even after its death, which you're going to cause with things you're doing, it's not sustainable. It's not going to work. Things like coal royalties pay a great deal of our bills in Queensland. We don't produce enough to be able to have enough tax going around in the system, be able to pay this extraordinarily oversized government and its incredibly well-paid bureaucrats who are of questionable facility in terms of adding value. But then there's the other question about who owns Australia's resources. Now, when you consider that we, the people, the voting public, own the Australian government, it's our government. We put it there. It's there to represent our will, even though it doesn't. And it's there to manage our resources on our behalf. The government doesn't own anything. We own the coal in the ground. How come we're not getting the coal royalties paid directly to us, as some other countries do, particularly in the Middle East? There's countries there that don't pay tax at all because it's assumed that everything under the ground belongs to all the people, and therefore any profit generated from their extraction, the royalties that go to their government go straight to the people, and then we wouldn't need, say, unemployment benefit. A whole range of things that we could cut out if we got the wealth that we actually own in the first place. However, in Australia, what it looks like very much is that a crime cartel hijacked our governments decades ago, possibly even as long ago as Federation, and we've been ripped off and stolen from ever since. Go ahead, change my mind.